Yeah, man's doing like that. But hold on. I got to show you guys something. I gotta show you something.
Who told you about the glasses, by the way? Show me what?
Come see me. Do you see the musicality?
We can't hear nothing.
Hey.
Bro, you're just bare breathing into the mic. This is very disturbing to everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and right now it feels like watching Hey Arnold try and rap. But anyway.
That's enough. How do I stop
Hey Arthur, that's it. And I say, hey, what a wonderful time today.
Have I stopped sharing now?
You wasn't sharing nothing before. There was no sound. There was nothing.
I should have tested it.
You should have tested it first.
Maybe next week I'll improve. But yeah. Say that.
All right, cool. Let's keep it moving. I still rate him because recently his game is like really raised. Everyone says no. I think yes. I believe his stunt with the egg actually was like yes. He said he was going to do it, and he did it. That's a bit like a 50 Cent thing right there. Can we have some love for the one and the only Lamar?
Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. With your boy Monzi. You know what it is. I would like to thank my brothers. The one and only Cobes. He's looking like a Ninja Turtle, but he's my bro. I like to thank my other bro, D-Mac. He's shorter than a beanstalk, but you got him.
Wait a damn minute.
And then obviously with Jack, he looks a bit over controversial. Who else? Malachi. Oh, he's late, so he's gonna be late. Anyways, my other boy Lamar.
Mally, I just realized Mally's at work. He's coming from work. Now I realized he's coming from work.
Yeah, late. Anyways, yeah, my bro Lamar. Yeah, like he's doing his thing. Yeah, but exactly. Yeah, and am I leaving out somebody? Oh yeah,
no.
Big O. Yeah, Big O. Yeah.
The gap thing. Okay, cool. See, people like you is the reason why I'm getting rid of my gap. Anyway, go right there, yeah. Like you. All right, cool. Kobe, you wanted to respond to that. You wasn't happy with what he just did there.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know this was happening today.
Kamani said it, not me.
Kobe, have you not been missing the last few weeks? It's not even been like intros anymore. It's like insulting each other with their intros.
When I come back next week with my 1.5 minute song, boy and everyone, it's a rap, innit? But calm.
Oh, I should make a song. Yeah, I'm gonna have to run it up still. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, next up, I don't know who it was between, so I'm just gonna do it in alphabetical order. I know DMAC won definitely, but between these two, I just do it in alphabetical order. So, in coming up now is the one and the only Mr. Webster, Jack Webster. Here we go.
I mean, I was third, but second, but we'll ignore it. Anyway, one more and the only one with sick intro. So I made my own myself, innit?
Jesus. You know the plan and plot.
Oh no! oh, mate, this is a mess, mate.
Wow.
Why does it always backfire? I just can't have a nice intro anymore, can I?
Even the box goes all over the place. You can't juggle the chocolate.
Oh, Civilian was the hardest one to put together as well. That was like 5 minutes alone, bro. Oh.
No, but you know what? It's an effort that counts. I have to give. At least you didn't insult. At least you didn't put nothing else. And you started saying,
no, I
Lamar
was looking
is...
for. I was looking for the John is 3 foot, but there aren't numbers in Scrabble.
All right, cool. All right, next up we have the one and the only Kumani.
Oh, hello guys. My name is Lamar. I just sit at home. I hope you guys are having a good day.
Hey, I'll give you that one. That was funny. I'll give you that
What
one.
the hell is this?
I have a team like that. I never take off. Yeah. But yeah, I hope
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
Wow.
I'll give you that one.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
Disrespect, man.
I'll give you that one.
Lovely.
Man pulled a whole freaking bottom lip out.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
All right.
That was directed, fam.
Hey.
And we got the reigning champion. Is he going to end up like Eminem and then have that random response to Machine Gun Kelly that no one wanted? Let's see. Let's see. D-Mac.
That's the third place trophy.
I think it actually is.
It's also very dusty.
And furthermore, he was nearly the same height as the trophy. So what's happening?
He doesn't even know this is happening.
And now his Wi-Fi's moving on nuts. This is crazy intro.
Yeah, boy. The
Someone
champion,
actually
baby.
fixed like that.
I can't lie
Glasses look like swimming goggles.
because I know that I'm the reigning champion already. Don't do that. Don't do that. Come on. Yeah.
But the glasses look like swimming goggles.
Your glasses look like flipping hula hoops, bro. Someone's already said it. Bro, man, them go through. Nah. Second of all, man, them go through this stage at like 10, bro. Big 19.
I'll be honest. You shouldn't say big when you're the same size as your third place trophy, yeah? Don't do that to me, because I am not the one.
Wait, hold on, wait. Let's get into it. What was that? What did he say? What did he say? Would you like to repeat that?
I feel like we should just
Back
end
on
the
the
show
live
now.
stream. What's it
I've
back?
got stitches.
What's
I
it
feel like we should just all right, guys. Let's just cut the show. I've actually got stitches. Okay. Let's be serious now. Let's be serious. This is a serious situation. Just because of how serious it is, let's just throw in news of the week because it's going to be news. By the way, everyone, we are going to go back to normal next week. I promise. We're going to be talking about an important, deep discussion to do with basically harassment in the scene. One of the things that's triggered this off is a recent situation. I say recent, it wasn't recent, but it's been getting more energy in the past few weeks to do with a very well-known dancer, one of the founders of Rocksteady Crew, Crazy Legs. Probably seen as basically the pillar or foundation of what we know today as hip hop. One of the guys that was also very instrumental in getting a lot of the breakdance, just to say, styles into TV and movies. And yeah, but things have happened, and there's some allegations that have been put out. I think it got heightened and pushed, especially after it was announced about the recent Olympic win for all of us, when the Olympics announced that breakdance would soon be part of the event. And in that, people have now called for his head, which I feel there'll be more coming very soon for other people, and feeling that he should not be involved or have any involvement further on in not just the Olympics, but also anything to do with b-boy, the b-boying world. So we're going to be talking about sexual harassment that young girls go through. I say young girls, ladies, women, anyone, and men. Because sometimes I think we think sexual harassment is just towards women, and I think men get it as well. And there's a little bit of a taboo where men don't look at the situation and say to themselves, "Oh, I've been sexually harassed." We just look at it as an advanced. I don't know if anyone agrees with that. Do we look at it like that? I don't know. Have you ever had some women be really very on you and you just didn't think of it as sexual harassment? Just she's over on it. I don't know how you feel. Anyway.
I hear that still. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think also maybe growing up, I think this is where you could probably tell in age in comparison to us both. I have gone through that. I never looked at it as sexual harassment. I just looked at it as a very advanced woman that just really wanted it and didn't get the idea of, no, leave me alone. Until my later years of learning, I say later years, the last 2 years of learning sexual harassment isn't just sending pornographic pictures of yourself to another person unwantedly. It can be just constantly being touched or grabbed in ways that you don't really like. Do you know what I mean? I had it up to not last year, the year before. I remember I went with a drink with a dance company at the end, and I'm waiting inside the line to get these drinks, and I get some women who come up to me and then pinch my bum, then another one grabbed it. My reaction wasn't, "You have sexually harassed me." My reaction was, leave it out. You know what I mean? Instead of looking at it as, oh, that's actually sexual harassment. So men sometimes aren't aware that they've also been sexually harassed. So, but we're talking about harassment in the dance scene and women that have gone through it. We're still going to be same place, same platforms, just a different format. So we'll be going back to the original format that we started with, because apparently there's quite a few women that would like to conversate on this subject and talk about it. So we're going to try and get more women involved, because they can talk about it. But I do want to again stress, it's not a woman thing, and sometimes it can be a bit annoying to hear sexual harassment and then straight away it's associated with women, making it more and more of a thing that men don't feel they can also open up or even be aware that it's sexual harassment. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And it doesn't have to be just by the opposite sex, it could be the same sex. If it's unwanted and it's not something that you asked for and you've consented and you have no formal relationship, no person can just grab up your genitals or ish like that as a joke and you just go piss off and it's okay. It's not okay. But anyway, we're going to be talking about it next week. So the reason why we want to talk about this particular subject this week, or let's start off with the news of the week, and then we'll go in from there. Go on, Kobe. Okay, yeah, cool. So let's just go straight into the news of the week. Okay, so the major news of the week actually goes with what we're going to be talking about, which is news of the week. And that is, even though they're both connected, we're going to be talking about Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan this week. Okay, I don't know how you want to look at it. He says he quit. They said they fired him or they let him go. However you want to look at it, what's everyone's view on Piers Morgan going? Let's go around the room. Piers Morgan is gone. What's everyone's view? Should we go from Kobe, Lamar, D-Mac, Kamani, and then Jack? Kobe, let's go for it.
I think I'm in two minds, but I'm more leaning to the other man because I'm not really in the other space. I think he brings an element of entertainment of always being that kind of devil's advocate, even though he does believe in what he says. So in that sense, it's going to kind of take away this. I feel like sometimes now the news might just be like, we all agree, this is what we're talking about, and there might not always be a devil's advocate or from the other point. However, sometimes people got to go. Somebody got to go, and it happened to be him because of some things that he feels that he spoke about that shouldn't have been the backlash. It was with the Alex guy, right? If I'm correct, and that's what he walked off in.
Yeah, I can show the video. Should we show the video?
And roll video.
Roll video. Let's go. So I'll show everyone the video. Just want to state. Oh, what was that? Yeah, I'll show the video and then give everyone basically a kind of heads up to what happened. Let me just grab it. Okay, cool. Can everyone hear it?
Meghan Markle, you've made it so clear a number of times on this program, a number of times. And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, mate, but not my own
No.
stuff. See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do
This is
this.
absolutely diabolical behavior.
And I said that I needed to go somewhere to get help. I said that I've never felt this way before and I need to go somewhere. And I was told that I couldn't, that it would.
We'll talk about that in a second. But so yeah, that's what basically happened. Let's continue going around the room. D-Mac, what do you feel about that? Piers Morgan left or fired, whatever you look at it, he's not there no more. How do you feel?
Can't lie, I saw it and I was like, well, see you later, mate. Can't lie, it was just kind of like, raw. Man had a little stroke, it was just like whatever for me, I can't lie. Yeah.
Cool. Let's move on. Lamar?
Me personally, I mean him gone. I mean, I understand why. I don't think he quit. I think he got sacked. Mainly the reason because of the things that he was saying. I mean, it seems like to come from a very salty place. The fact that, as the guy said, that he got cut off by Meghan and he started like carrying on, getting onto her publicly, even though she hasn't said anything and hasn't responded to anything that he has said. I mean, to me, it had to come from a place where it's like, you're not just saying it's just because you see what you see based on the family and them two as a couple. This comes down to something more personal. And the fact that it's because she cut him off, I mean, it makes sense, but it doesn't make it right. So,
yeah.
Him gone in a bit.
Cool. Next up is Kamani.
To be fair, like in some other situations, he does bring some fire to that show, innit? Good Morning Britain. But other than that, on this specific occasion, I felt like his presence was no longer needed. He was being so like Lamar was saying, so salty. He was being so ignorant within the situation, and it was so uncalled for. It was so like it wasn't what's the word? Like it wasn't like he was reacting to something said or anything. He was literally just bringing all this up off his own back, I just felt there was no need or place for it. And the continuous like bullying, you can even call it bullying, the continuous bullying that he was doing, it's just so unnecessary. So yeah, to be fair, I'm just like whatever. Like it is about time.
Okay. Just gonna read out one of our comments. So I don't watch TV for these reasons. Instigates. Am I reading that wrong?
Instigated.
Sorry, my bad. Today, guys, I'm tired. Instigated. I'm so sorry. I know that word. I don't know why I'm even like that. Instigated toxicity to viewers who a lot of the time are, as we know, are sheep. So for me, he's better off gone because he supports a racist institute. Now, I agree with that. I agree. I wouldn't say I don't think he supports a racist institute, but no, actually, maybe he does. No, I think his words come across as he supports racist institutes, but then I don't think even racists like him. If you know what I mean, like I don't think.
Was that Philip was in hospital? He just kept repeating that. That was only.
Yeah, I know, 100%. But I don't think anyone likes him.
But I feel like he left because I feel like if they was to fire him, they would have fired him ages ago. Do you know what I mean? Or do you not think that?
Yeah, no, I think the Ofcom, there was an Ofcom thing. We'll get into that more, but there was an Ofcom situation that basically got kicked off, and they had to do something about it. And I think they were forcing, from what I'm hearing, I'm reading, they had to force him to apologize, and he refused to apologize, which then Intel put him to go, well, I'm leaving. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think it is kind of a, they fired him and he left because it was a kind of a, if you don't do that, we have to fire you. And he's like, I'm not doing it, so I'm leaving. Do you get what I'm saying? I think so. That's what I think. There's that miscommunication between both. Jack.
Hello. No, I'm not sad at all. I think this is a great thing, and I think it should have happened anyway. And I know for a lot of people, it's a bit sweet because of the way this guy roasts politicians. But for me, that isn't something that you should really be applauding so much anyway, because with someone of his platform and his stature, he should be doing that anyway. That's what his platform's for. So it's good that he roasted him in that, but he should have been doing that, even though others weren't. But as for this and this situation alone, he definitely should have lost his job, because this guy was an absolute weirdo. Like, it was actually scary the amount of obsession this guy had over her just because she rejected him. Like, it's not right, because this guy was basically the spearhead of all of this toxic, negative, like news articles surrounding her. Like, this guy was on it. Like, he brought on all these debates, and all of the people they were debating with were these English royalists anyway, who were all just spewing negative comments. And there wasn't anyone to back her corner other than the weatherman, who, since this has come out, obviously none of us really watched the show. But the same thing happened over a year ago. They had a dispute or something, and the weatherman walked off because Piers Morgan was chatting a load of BS, and he stormed off. Yeah. So he got a taste of his own medicine, and the guy is a fat, ugly wanker. I'm glad he's gone.
Cool. I'm going to read out what Lee said. So Lee said, to what Alex said, it wasn't anything in my eyes to warrant to walk off. I didn't watch it live, just a clip. And I'll read it. Sorry, I put it out. Sorry. So just a clip. And to me, he could have sat there and listened to what Alex had to say. If he's watched the full thing, him and Alex actually wasn't at it. I think to give context to the whole situation, what it was is that Alex brought it up a few times, and Piers asked him, look, okay, let's move past that a few times. And Alex kept on bringing it. No, Alex didn't keep, I won't say he persisted, but he kind of pushed towards the direction. And then he did it again. So it wasn't, just to let anyone know, this is not me sticking up for Piers Morgan. It just let everyone know that the actual whole general kind of interview moment of all of that was actually longer than that. And that was the tail end of Piers Morgan saying, I've had enough. Does everyone understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does everyone get that? So it wasn't he just said that, and then Piers was like, because a lot of people are going, oh, Piers, you can't. Well, I still agree, Piers, you can't handle your, like, it's a tough pill to swallow when it's done to you. Do you get what I'm saying? But that's what basically happened. On my opinion on the whole thing, which is where I understand what Jack is saying, but I think in my opinion, over it all. I know. For me, Piers was Marmite to me, and I think, and I agree with you, Jack, 100%. That's what he should be doing, challenging, but no one's challenging. I think that's what my only thing was. No one's challenging the politicians. And that's why there's been memes of you seeing Hancock, and I even put it up, Hancock and Johnson just dancing back to Good Morning Britain, because they're like, hey, we can go back and not be challenged. We can chat S and not be challenged. You've seen it even with Patel. Patel, I saw her finally get challenged. But it's not, again, it doesn't make it all right. I think that's my little thing. And that's where I say, I understand what Kobe's saying. And I've always said that. I feel like he played more devil's advocate, because just to let everyone know, I know a lot of people go, obviously he's racist. You'll find he also had these same type of arguments with racists. The racists don't like him. So the far right don't like him. The far left don't like him. The far left don't like him because he challenges what they say. And the far right don't like him because he challenges. Hence why week by week, on 1 week, I'm good with him because he's challenging the far right. And then the next week, I hate the guy because he's challenging the far left. So but I think I think we all can agree, there was a clear obsession on how much he hated this woman. And she never said a thing. She said a retaliation thing to everyone, so pardon me, including the press, but she never, she never, what do you call it? Yeah, she never responded to Piers. So you couldn't help but say, yo, bro, what is your issue? And there was
an interview with him and he was talking about it. I don't know if there was a full thing, but I saw a clip of it. And he was basically talking, I'm trying to figure out what show it's on. And he was like, they went for like dinner or whatever. And he paid for her ticket in the taxi, and turns out where she was going in the taxi, she got dropped off to a party where she met Prince Harry. I think that's why he's mad.
She never spoke to him again.
And she never spoke to him again.
I'm telling you, he's hard. This is signs of.
There's a personal agenda.
She's gonna move on. Got all this press with her being with a certain man after you put her in a cab, and she never spoke to you again. Yeah, he's hurt, man.
He's got his own personal feelings of what he's saying.
Yeah,
I think
got his own pain and problems.
I think that's good in that. Like, I love the fact that we actually have someone who can challenge these people because they need to be challenged. But when it comes down to it, you got to think about what this guy's really like. Right? Remember why this guy blew up, really? He hacked a dead girl's phone to just sell an article. Like, this guy isn't a good person. Yeah, he might challenge people here and there. But just like that one on the right in the recommended, yeah, he's challenging someone on their views on gender. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. You use that platform to have a debate, but he's outright mocking them. Like, he's just saying, like, okay, you feel this way, but that's just a load of bollocks. Like, he's just not listening to them, and it's just like basically attacking them. And it's one of them things, because of who he is and the sort of followers he has. He has a platform where his opinion can dictate a whole group of people and just spread a whole negative message towards a group of people, just like that.
100%.
So he has to be careful, and he's not.
No, and you know what? That's the reason why I haven't said you shouldn't have fired him. I haven't said that. The reason why I haven't is because however much I would have liked to him still seen him where he was, I can't help but agree that I would sit and watch, and I'd feel like saying, Piers, shut the up. Like, sorry for my language, anyone watching or any young people, I would feel that. So what you're saying, Jack, is what I would feel when he had his week, when he was far against the far right. Yeah. And just as mentioned that before I show the video, D says that's a cover. He's challenged to his own meaning, to his own. What am I reading? D, for some reason when I read your stuff, I'm just whatever. That's a cover. His challenge to his own means nothing. Yeah, so what she means by his own is, I'm guessing you mean as in he's still far right. He is the male version of Kate Hopkins.
I was about to say Kate Hopkins.
D. There's only. That's why I'm glad D's here, because that's why I knew this whole conversation. We're gonna try and move on anyway. We're gonna stop in a second about this, but that's where I own the. And this is where is everyone, and maybe Jack, you may not agree with me. Maybe the rest of you may not agree with me. I don't think he was like Kate Hopkins level. Kate Hopkins actually outright bullies and wears dresses and mocks Islam and stuff like that.
To the
extent when you go, how does she still exist? Do you get what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I agree.
So I wouldn't say I don't think he's on that level, and he has had some positive outreach moments where I've gone, all right, cool, he's got a point here. But I do agree, I can't help, but I do agree with everyone when I say it was one or the other. If you don't even going to apologize, you need to go anyway. If you weren't going to apologize for what he did to Meghan Markle, and for everyone to understand what happened was he belittled her need for support in mental health. He then put out an article or a tweet, and then also then put out a statement on Good Morning Britain saying that he doesn't agree. But then when he could have walked away from it, he then continued to say, but I'm not going to be forced to believe blah, 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 and started bringing up Philip again. They asked him to re-apologize, is what I'm hearing, because Ofcom then got 44,000 complaints.
I've just seen he's got a petition to bring him back, and it's got like millions of signatures.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because you got to remember he was Good Morning Britain. I can't help but say I watched it because I'm guilty of this. I would find some things funny. I'd be like, this guy doesn't know. He was the British Trump. I don't want to say maybe he's not on the level of Trump, but he was like, what's he going to do today? Do you know what I mean? I didn't take him seriously enough to really care that level. Sorry.
His one point to back him up was that of his freedom of speech, innit?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I feel he's got a point in the fact that Sideman said something, and I agree with Sideman. Sideman, if anyone doesn't know Sideman, just look him up on Instagram. He had an amazing IG where he basically had pushed up. That was another thing. Sideman, you only ended up on that show because Piers told you to come on his show as well. So it's kind of like, but I'm glad you're also willing, because Sideman has shown he's willing to take on the establishment, even if I come and work for you. He did it with BBC. Is it BBC Extra?
Yeah.
And even though Piers got him onto the show on Good Morning Britain, he was willing to also take him on later on, as in yesterday. I think it was yesterday or this morning. But where I said I agree with Piers on the freedom of speech, if you don't find, how do I explain this? If you don't have these conversations with people, where Piers is in the wrong still, well, I'm 100% behind Jack on this one, is not giving people the opportunity to talk, or not even having the ability to change your mindset. That's where I feel like Piers needed to go. That's where I agree. He needed to go, because he's not even willing. He has a mind view, and he's not a mindset, or he has a view, and he's not willing to understand another person's point of view. So it's like, you know what, Piers, piss off. But where I am in a place of freedom of speech is, if we don't hear people's views, we're not able to create change. I think what's more dangerous is why I feel Britain's racism in comparison to America's racism is worse, is because Britain's one is concealed. You don't know where it is.
Yeah.
If America is in your face, Britain scares me because they find ways. Do you know, is it Abbott? She was a Labour. Oh, I forgot her name. It's something Abbott. Can someone in the D, if you can write in something Abbott? And she talks about the fact that she was dealing with racism, institutional racism, but there was no way of dealing with it, because all they do is talk it. They talk it down. They push it down. While you can't do that much in America because it's too. Dana, that's it. Dane Abbott. Thank you, guys. Selena, yeah, thank you, Selena. Thank you, Lee. They push it down, and I feel this is not to say I'm not trying to cuss out Britain. I love Britain. The things we've got, the opportunities we get, like things like now, the freedom of speech level that we have more than a country like China. I love Britain, but I'm not going to deny the fact that I feel Britain has been able to suppress the level of racism, which leads us onto the royal family thing. Diana Abbott, yes, that's right. So they were, what do you call it, able to suppress. So that's where I mean about freedom of speech. That's what, you know what I mean? That's where I kind of understand, because what is acceptable today will not be acceptable tomorrow. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So if what's his name said to today, and what's his name, Sideman, I was thinking this the other day, what Sideman said today tomorrow will be seen as you can't say that side, man, because you have to be respectful to Piers and how he feels, and he'll get gunned down in 10 years' time. So that's where I'm like, okay, we've got to be careful. I said this, I know it's not the same subject, but I said this when I first found out about Little Mermaid being race bent to be a black character. I said, from a personal standpoint, it's amazing. And from a personal standpoint, it's amazing for my daughter. But this was fictionally created as, I know everyone says it's a fiction, so you can do whatever. I said, but then if tomorrow, in 20 years' time, they decide they want to make a Black Panther, what are you going to say? They can always come back to this and say, well, at this moment, it was all right when we could make Little Mermaid, who was always seen as a white character. So my point is that what is acceptable today may not be acceptable in 10 years' time. So we've got to be careful and find the right middle, because Piers was in the wrong, but he should be allowed to have some form of freedom of speech. Where for me he's wrong isn't what he feels. I think what he said was wrong, but isn't what he feels. Where I really think he's wrong was the inability to understand someone else's point of view. Do you know what I mean? That's where I'm at with Piers. But we've talked about it, and we kind of go into the big situation, which I talked about, the racism, systemic and baseline racism. I think everyone from the BAME community didn't watch that interview with Meghan and sat there and go, what? The royal family has racism? Listen, the whole freaking royal family is built off racism. I think the only people that were surprised was people who are really blindsided to the royal family and think the Queen comes in. Where do you think the crown jewels come from?
People think the Commonwealth is like some party that just decided to happen, like oh, should we do some Olympic Games together just for a laugh? Yeah.
D says so exactly same as what being a song of the year, but we can't call Mr. Potatoes Potato Head. 10 years ago, what would have been banned? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly, 100%. This is obviously what I just mentioned. 100%. It's crazy. I'm scared what's going to happen in 20 years' time. Like me, right now, the black jokes we make. You know when black people go, "Oh, white people, oh, white." Oh, you know when they walk. Was it films? In films, it goes, only a white person would go into there, and all the white people and the black people and the Asian people all laugh. In 10, 20 years' time, that's not going to be acceptable. If not in 5 years' time, that's going to be It's already started, kind of. You know what I mean? You know when you go like, "Oh, you never understand." Actually, I don't agree with that way you speak. I've been told that before, and you go, "Oh, no." What I mean is, you never understand. It's because it's God knows what's going to be acceptable. We probably can't make black jokes, white jokes, and Asian jokes in the future. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, back to the point. So, royal family is all. I think for a lot of people from the BAME community, we weren't surprised. If anything, we were happy. I don't think. No offense to Meghan or to Harry, I don't think we were sitting there caring more about what they just went through. We do sympathize with them. I think it was more of kind of like, thank God. You know, like the elephant in the room. We've been thinking this the whole time. We just didn't want to say it because we thought you were going to kill us or call us or tell us to go back to our country. Do you know what I mean? So what does everyone feel about that one? Just finishing up to get to the last topic of the day. What's everyone feeling about finding out about the royal family? I'll go to Kobe first.
I think you hit the nail on the head, like, especially from like my point of view, or like what you said from the BAME community. It was more like, thank you for revealing, like being that the brave person that just revealed it, and like having not that fear, because like you said, like who are we to the royal family? Like they can just come kill us off and I don't know, put a bomb in our houses, and then this person has been mysteriously found dead in however many years' time. So she really took that leap of faith just to kind of confirm it. I think for years, like you said, everyone kind of known, especially like colonization, racism, like theft, if you want to take it that deep. So just really kind of put it out there to the rest of the world who was kind of oblivious to it or naive, because it's the royal family and they wouldn't do that and XYZ. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. 100%. Lamar?
I'm not really surprised personally. I mean, as I was watching the interview on Monday night. Yeah, Monday night. I don't know. I mean, I felt like I was hearing things that not that I've heard before, but I'm not surprised of hearing. So to me, it was almost like I was bored. That I wasn't really surprised. Like the royal family, like things going on with them regardless. And also talking to my mum about, you know, certain things that happened with Diana back in the day. I'm not surprised. Really not surprised.
Cool. Let's go, Jack. Wait, before Jack speaks, I just want to read out what Jack's, I could say Jack's mum, but Gerdish said before. She was just talking about what we was talking about and Piers. She says he never gave opposing views in an argument or logic. An arrogant bully, short-lived credibility, and reverted to type. So I mean I agree. Like I said, I think he was definitely a bully. He did kind of have to go. I think it was just I guess he was easy candy for a tough world to sit there and laugh at him when he was stupid. And
do you think that now he's gone, that other people are going to start like being gone from like other programs and stuff?
Yeah, eventually. Sorry, Jack. Yeah, eventually, Cobes. Jack, go for it. What do you think about the royal family, bro?
I hate them. I think it's weird that they're still a thing, but no, as we all obviously know, this isn't a shock to anybody. Like the royal family came about because of how they came about. Like it's very, very much ingrained into like them. This is just no shock. I can't believe it is a shock, but also you can, because like, you know, if you go back to school, you hear like, when you listen to like history lessons and that, you get told and taught a very, very different way to what you end up like finding out as you get older in it. So it's no shock to me. And the people that aren't shocked are just like, you know, I don't think they've wanted or taken the opportunity to like broaden their horizon in it or look deeper into like why they are the way they are.
Dope. Thank you, brother. Let's go for Kamani.
Yeah, once again, I'm definitely not shocked, and it's crazy when I see that people are shocked, because I'm like, I just deep I'm like, you're really not woke, and I'm like, are you that delusional? Like, what do you think? We're not living in some fantasy world. Like, it's real life. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's either these people are very delusional or narrow-minded, innit? Or you're just choosing not to accept what life like except for what it is. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just completely not shocked. I was just like, oh really? Okay. Oh nice. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just I feel like to most of us it's just normal. It's been normalized. Does that make sense? And that's wrong. That is completely wrong. Well yeah.
Sick. No, it was very powerful what you said there. He says white supremacy. That's why until that ends, nothing will change. And she said, yeah, I said it. It's true. Did anyone see William? William did something that was unconventional. And that's how you know William was born in the 20th century / end of 20th century / 21st. William, so the royal family, there's this apparently this unwritten contract in which where the Queen has made it very clear you don't respond even when you want to. But he responded. He actually turned around and they said, so what do you say about this racist, what do you call it? Claim, and he just turned around and said, no, we're not racist. He's not meant to say that. He's meant to keep his mouth shut. And that's when I was like, yeah, William's pissed. You can see he goes, I haven't spoken to my brother yet, but I will do soon. So you can tell William's pissed. But I don't know if anyone's noticed this. I'm very observant. Have you noticed even with Charles's recent walks, they've always had a black person next to them recently?
It's all PR, bro. Did you see?
Has anyone noticed? Out of the blue, there's always one black person next to him now.
I feel like I don't think this is them. I know Twitter's joking, like how much did they pay her and that, but the woman, I don't know what the campaign was or whatever, but I seen a clip and it looked like they were at a school. But it's like it seems like they were just trying to choose someone who was like as black as possible, if you know what I mean. Like the dreads, the floral sort of shirt and that. Like it was funny, but I don't know how much that was actually PR or if she was like going all in to take the piss.
No, but they did the same thing with Charles the other day. He had some black guy next to him. I was like, oh, okay, no. Okay. I was like, okay, I've never seen this before. What's going on here? Don't try it. Like these guys, like I'm willing to understand you, but don't try it.
To be fair, that just makes everything look even more fishy. Like, there's no
Yeah.
point now, man. Like, why are you gonna try and hide it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, bro?
Yeah, like everyone's literally been saying, just to like reiterate, it's not a shock, but I think one good thing from the interview is that now I think more people are actually gonna do more research and go more in depth in terms of like looking up the royal family and their history. Because I don't think a lot of people actually kind of know it to a T. So I think it'll be a good opportunity as well. So that's why I'm glad that the interview happened when it did. So yeah.
You know what the best part of the interview for me was? It was when Harry said something. So Harry's been seen before everyone goes, "Oh, Harry's a saint." Harry's not a saint. He wore a Nazi top to a a fancy dress party where his friends covered their face in blackface. Do you know what I mean? He's like, he's not saying he's a saint. I don't think Harry's saying the same. Harry said something. He said he didn't realize the racism and the problems until he got into, when I say into bed, I don't mean physically, but got into bed with Meghan. Like, he became got into a relationship, and all of a sudden it opened up. And this is what I think for many people from the BAME community, for all my fellow people of Caucasian color, this is what we mean when we always say, you don't understand until you walk our shoes. And that's what I loved. That was my main. A lot of people took all the other stuff. The other stuff wasn't surprising to me. It was that moment I was like, oh, thank you. You know what it is. Because I think someone called Piers out for this. Someone went, yo, if your son brought back a black woman, he was like, I'd love that. I'd love that. But it was this, no, it's not the point. Is until you live in that shoes of that person. And sometimes the only way you can even get close to that is by either being with them or noticing things. That's when you go, like, my missus didn't know. I don't think she deep down, maybe she'll say no, but I don't think she realized the systemic racism that can come. And you would rather, actually you wouldn't rather, but you'd rather the slander and the shouting and whatever, because you can see it coming. The looks are even worse. The looks is piercing. And we only experienced when we went to Center Park. And it was me, my daughter, and Jen, and we went to the Center Park, and the amount of looks she would get. And she was like, she would get angry. And I said, and she goes, why are you not angry? I said, because I live this every day. you get used to it. And she was like, what? And I was like, it's normal. Go on, Manzi, you want to say something, man?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, it really bugs me, yeah. Like, it's just logic sense, like this fact that, well, this supposed allegation of when it was said about how they're concerned about how dark the baby would be, how dark Archie would be. Logically, just look at Meghan and look at Harry, fam. What? What? Like, seriously, like, are you that delusional? I don't get it, bro. Like, either they're just so dumb or they're just trying. Like, I just like, where's the logic? There's the logic. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand.
It was. But I just want to read what Lee said, and I'm going to let you go, Copes. Please hold it this time, because you always forget when I come back to you. So Trisha Goddard was the lady who it was, and yeah, and Lee saying she clapped when that moment, and that's the moment I clapped, because you get so many parents who turn around and say these things and say, I wouldn't mind if my son comes back with a white girlfriend, or I wouldn't mind if my son comes back with a white boyfriend, I wouldn't mind if they come back with a black boyfriend, or I wouldn't mind. It's not until you live that moment is when you realize how you really feel. And that's what she was trying to say. Trisha Goddard was trying to say, is like, Piers, you're saying it now because you're on Good Morning Britain. You're saying it now because in your hindsight, you're thinking that, but you are going to be like, oh, you're going to be taken back. You're going to be taken back. And you're like, oh, you've come back with a black girlfriend? My sister went out with a white guy who lived in Isle of Wight, and I'm not going to say that there was any racism, but I think they were taken back by seeing him come back with a black girlfriend. Do you get what I'm saying? So you don't know what you're going to be like until you're in that shoes. And that's what Harry, I think that was what I took away from that interview. Harry finally said, it was like he was blind and then he saw and he was like, wow. Anyway, go on, Copes, go for it.
Sorry, I was just gonna put this question out because it got me thinking when I was watching the interview. Maybe I went completely left with it. Don't you think they would want a dark colored skin potential prince anyway? Because you got to remember, like, obviously, like what they were saying, like they're controlled, they're this, they're that. So you're not really doing anything anyway. So having a colored person on the throne, or even potentially in line for the throne, but you're controlling them anyway, would give the look that I think royal family is trying to go for, like this whole 21st century modern day, but still have our traditions. So on the outside, it looks like, oh, they're moving with the time, they're adapting. But obviously, in the inside core, you still got traditions, you still got like nothing's going to change. But to the outside eye, it's like, oh my God, they've got a black prince, but he's still doing the things that he would be doing if he was a white kid. Do you know what I mean?
You will see Queen Elizabeth rocking her back at Carnival before she allows something like that to happen. There is no way they would ever want that, and it's clearly very, very obvious, isn't it? They would die if they had anyone of any color, like potentially be a prince. They would have done worse than Diana. They probably would have done like, I don't know, 50th floor backflip off push. I don't know.
I can imagine Queen on her Queen's deathbed, her laying there, and then Charles comes next to it, and she turns and she goes to him, sort that shit out.
Oh, what's the one where he looks like he's on the verge of death every 2 seconds? Is it Philip?
Yeah, Philip.
Yeah.
Oh, Philip. He's like constantly dead all the time, innit? But the second he hears there might be a black prince, he goes, what?
Over my dead body.
I'm out of your freezer. But just to throw it out there, the Queen or anyone, if you're listening and you want to come clear up your side of the story, that's a million opinions. So it's a place to start. Guys, keep us on the views when we get on that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So D said there was a black king. I don't know if anyone's seen my Facebook post recently, but there was obviously like some down the bloodline. At some point there was some sort of mixture of, and you got to remember Queen Victoria was, I feel like Queen Victoria probably, if you know the history of Queen Victoria, I'm not saying she wasn't a racist, but she probably was more intertwined with Asia and Africa than any other queen and king beforehand. She kept herself basically a black slave, but she never looked at the girl as a black slave, and she called her a daughter. I don't know if anyone knows about this story. This is a true story. And she kept her as her daughter, and then she let her live her life and be free and all that stuff. You should look into it. It's actually quite sick, like in terms of Queen Victoria, probably the most. She was in the last century, so she was in the century before that, so the 19th century. So the 19th, it's 19th century, but 18 whatever, you know, so like this is the 21st century. Century 4 was the 20th century. Yeah, she was in the 19th century. So she's actually So I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to go too deep. I'm not going to say she's a saint. I have no idea, but she was more intertwined with I think she came with that whole kind of Commonwealth mixture. Probably one of the first queens or out of kings.
I got a question for everyone.
Oh,
if
I never knew that Queen Victoria stole an Indian child, then stole the stolen Maharaja.
Congrats.
Wow. See, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, that's some new information. I didn't know that.
Stealing children.
But is that unheard of from the royal family? Which lead us back to that point of we all kind of knew this. Like when they have the Commonwealth, Jack mentioned it before. You see these dancing people and all the different cultures, and they're all like, yes, hi, yes, amazing. Look at our culture. And it's like, yeah, you robbed, stole, pillaged, killed, murdered to have land that now made you rich. You're rich because of this.
And still won't let them.
And still won't let them go. Do you know what I mean? Barbados recently just finally got independence. I don't know if anyone knew that. Barbados just recently in 2020 got independence.
I think they removed her as head of state, but how did they go about doing that? Is that something they decided internally, or like they had to like beg for time, or?
I don't understand, bro. I don't get it. I know I know the Hong Kong thing. Hong Kong, how they did it is they had a 50-year lease off or something like that. So I don't know if they've done something similar where we'll come back to Commonwealth after 50 years or 100 years. I don't know. The Renaissance happened and everything got wiped. Okay. So she's saying basically there was a black king and then they basically wiped the history of it. Like completely got rid of that history.
This was England.
Yeah, in England. Yeah, this is England. I've heard about this. It's not the first time.
Never heard of it.
Azira says that there was a Daily Mail headline and it was disgraceful. You know what? There was one headline that came up for me that really pissed me off, which leads us to coming towards the end of this subject as we finish off, was Andrew how they bite-sided Andrew. Like they've said this is the worst thing in the last 85 years. And I was like, yo, Andrew, like trafficking young girls for his own needs, isn't that a problem? Isn't that the worst thing that's happened? This is couple issues. This is family problems. You know what I mean? Like this is family issues. You know, like when you have a child and they're not really seen eye to eye and the girlfriend takes your son-in-law away. That's family issues. The problem with Andrew, now that's a royal family issue. That's a big problem. That's not a family issue. That's a estate issue. Do you get what I'm saying? And
I can't remember who I was saying it to. I feel like the reason why they won't go into something like that is because if they're opening that kind of worms of Andrew, they're all obviously linked in some way or format. So they're not going to go into that. Whereas this situation with Meghan about, she's a bully, she's that, they can open that kind of worms because she's so like fresh into the family. They're not really involved in her kind of worms. So they can take off her can and let everything run about her and not protect her because she can't now go, yeah, but if you open this, then you're going to be involved in that. Whereas Andrew's thing, if that can gets opened and this person's involved, the Queen's involved,
there's going to be loads of people. Loads of people. That's what it is. I think that's deep down what it is.
That's just the royal monarch I was talking about. That's not including all the head leaders of all the other countries, and it's a long day if they open that kind of worms.
Okay, and thank you. This Azira mentioned this, and I mentioned this in an argument. I said people are saying how stupid is Meghan for if you really had a problem, why are you having an interview about it and making millions? And I'm like, Andrew did the same thing literally the year before. He did the same thing, the exact same thing. He had an interview against the royal family's wishes. He went in there without being prepared for any questions. He did it on. In fact, his one was worse because they cut things out of Oprah's things. Andrew, it was untouched. You watched him sweat like a pig that he claims he can't sweat. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's mad. I remember watching it
after the Epstein thing.
Yeah.
I said, I can't sweat. I've got a disease.
Like, and then, and literally everything got brushed under the carpet. You're right, Azira. But that's what I thought with the Andrew thing. I just thought that was mad. I think long haul of it is, I'm going to play devil's advocate towards the end of all of this. I do feel, though, I've said this before, Meghan wears the trousers. I still think she wears the trousers of Harry. Even though Harry did, obviously, you got to remember, I don't like the way they've put the article and made it at Meghan. Harry's a man. I hate when they do that to women, where they put the blame on the woman. That's disgraceful to me. Do you know what I mean? She wears the trousers, but you can't. It's got to be Harry and Meghan made the decision, or Meghan and Harry. You can't say Meghan, and then Harry in small print. It's literally like the Janet Jackson situation with Justin Timberlake, where everything was Janet, but it was Justin Timberlake who pulled the freaking top for you to see her boob. How are you letting Justin get away with that? Do you get what I'm saying? I love that. Yeah, Harry's protecting his new queen, not his old one. Good on him. A family man. Well, he mentioned it. Without him stating it too majorly, he mentioned it. Basically, Dad, you did a shit job of looking after Mum, and she's dead now. I'm not going to go deep into it, but you let someone kill her, the press. You let that happen, and I'm not going to let that happen with my wife. Especially because especially when I'm not going to be king, and I know what happened the last time when a particular royal family became more famous and became more popular than the others. And in this case, Harry and Meghan were more popular and more recognized and more wanted by the whole world, including the Commonwealth, than William and Kate. Let's be honest. We all resonated with Harry and Meghan than we did. And it didn't matter if you were far right, far left, you kind of preferred Harry and Meghan than Kate. Kate and William just still feel too far. You can't, I don't know. You don't resonate with them. There's something about them just feels like you're very upper class. You don't understand what we go through. Do you get what I'm saying? Listen, when your son is doing ballet as a hobby, that's when you know you're rich. Do you get what I'm saying? You got money like that. It's just, he does ballet, he does a bit of this, he does a bit of that, he learns the violin. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? And when I hear the stories of Archie runs around, talks about food. I'm like, yeah, this kid's black. this kid's black. But sorry, let's go. Let's not forget that Piers Morgan. Oh yeah, we talked about Piers Morgan already. But the only thing I will say with Meghan that I didn't agree when she said, I don't know, how did everyone feel about this bit? About with Meghan. Meghan goes, I had no idea what I was getting into. Did you agree?
Yes, no, and I'm gonna tell you why I agree with her. Yeah, I had this debate with my friend the other day.
Let's go.
Look, yeah. If there's any Americans watching, you're gonna get offended. I apologize. But if everyone forgets, yeah, we've all grown up in this country, yeah, where the royal family is in our face every single day. They're on the news, holidays, this, that, and the other. You're taught in school. We know about the royal family, innit? And because of how big the Queen is, you would assume the rest of the world knows about them, which some of the world might. But when you get America, yeah, you can't find a population of people who are much more arrogant and ignorant and very, very closed into their world, because obviously not all of them, but it comes across that a lot of Americans know America and America only. Like, they don't even know their own states, let alone they don't know that Europe isn't a country. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think the Queen or the royal family at all is really like promoted whatsoever over there. So you can't expect her to know like all of these things, like to bow at this point and this, that, and the other, because there's royal families all over the world, yeah, which aren't as big to us. Like, there's monarchies in Spain that we don't really know about, and if you got thrown into that family, you wouldn't know what to do. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, I think it's a bit mad she wouldn't have like a little Google. I'm pretty sure she's had a little like type, like, oh, what should I do here and there? Like, but I very much believe she went in there not knowing a lot of things, and I believe even more so that they didn't tell her a lot of things intentionally.
And you know what shocked me was that I didn't know that once you're in, you're in. Like, there's no leaving and stuff like that. And like, they took her ID, her passport, and her keys. And all stuff. That shocked me. I was like, what?
And that wouldn't be on Google.
Yeah, imagine living like that. No way.
She basically had a lockdown before we all had a lockdown.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, it's actually true though.
She literally did.
This made me laugh.
Yeah, I had to share it.
Wagwan, granny.
It's the little flag. Look at the flag in the Queen's hat.
Hello?
Wagwan, granny.
But yeah, I think she went in there very naive, not intentionally. Like, she just wasn't aware. And like she said as well, like, once you get in, there's no academy to teach you how to be a royal. And Harry can't teach you because he's been born into it. Like, that's what because I said it at first. I was like, yeah, but surely Harry would have had conversation with her. But then I thought, wait, hold on. He's not thinking it as, oh, this is what royals do. This is just, oh, this is what I've been doing for my 30-something years of life.
He says that though, didn't he? He does say that.
Yeah,
he does say like,
he's never had to learn anything because he's just learned it. As growing up, like, he can't even teach it because what do I teach? What's new? What's the normal and what's part of my life? Like, what's a royal and what's not? Like, it's very hard to balance the two.
Yeah, Azira mentioned about Harry. Harry was he was on the Corbyn show. I watched it. I actually watched it all the way through. I found it so interesting. He was so down. He was a Harry that I've always grown up. He was the favorite prince. No matter what you say, I know now William, for patriotic reasons, is going to be the one everyone turns to now. But Harry was the favorite prince. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, I got a question, and I hope this doesn't get shadow banned because of this. Is Charles Harry's dad?
I was just going to say that. I was going to throw in a conspiracy thing. Do you think... Okay, let's just finish off with this bit.
Because
do you think the reason why he can't be king isn't because he's black? Because he's technically not in the bloodline. That is a conspiracy, guys. No one shoot me.
What's in this episode doesn't go up on YouTube?
I mean, does anyone know one ginger person in the royal family? Just one. Find me one.
It was so weird. I was thinking ginger because I was thinking about how like actually black this child could be, and I'd be like, like his mom's like very very fair skin and dad's ginger, and I was like, ginger. I don't really know anybody that's ginger.
I was saying, like, does like, you know what's funny as well is like, it's not funny because what happened to Diana is really diabolical and horrible. But do you think on the night Queen found out, like, Charles rocked up Hey, Mum, how you doing? I've got something to tell you. Yes, Charles? I thought it's probably best to let you know because I see Diana's pregnant again. How do I say this? Harry's not mine. What? Philip, call the people. We're dealing with Diana now. I've had enough. I've had enough. And the next thing you know, everything happens, and Harry's walking and going, "Nah, may bad man be treated like this? Nah." So Harry's like,
I think it would have caused a major issue because isn't apparently the Queen isn't her bloodline either, no? Because it was her uncle stepped down. But her uncle,
her uncle stepped down, so her dad had to go in, George.
But her uncle had a son, so technically, the Queen's cousin.
Well, if you go deep, apparently they're not even royals, and there's actually a true king. So
yeah. So technically, I feel like if Harry got to that point of becoming king, I doubt it because of his age. And by the time William's 2 kids got there, he could have been like, "Yeah, well, I have to be king now because we allowed you to be queen, and you wasn't even supposed to be queen anyway." And then obviously his kid is gonna be Archie. So then it's like, I feel like they're definitely not. They don't care too tough.
Because let's deeper. The last ginger we know is Henry VIII. That's the last ginger we know. That's how far back. You're telling me it skipped so many generations to get to Charles. To Harry. I'm not a DNA superstar, but they say they're saying the dad is called James Hewitt.
James Hewitt.
Hewitt. I heard about this, but you know what I mean? Like I'm just sitting there thinking.
Have you seen James Hewitt? Google
should we get a picture of them?
Put James Hewitt and Harry next to each other. There should be a picture of them together, and you will see why I brought this conversation up. When I saw this picture, I said, Charles, you got something to say?
But that's why I think what happened. That's why I think, when they had that the wedding thing or whatever you want to call it. That's when one of the people come and said, Archie's never going to be Prince. And then Meghan's thinking, because he's black. And he's like, no, because that's not
Charles.
Harry's real dad. But I'm not going to tell you that.
Can you imagine? Well, they put it on racist evidence. It just turns out it's because Charles isn't Harry's. Harry isn't Charles, sorry. You find the picture?
Yeah, I found it. I'm just about to share it now. This is actually mad.
It's crazy, bro.
This is actually mad.
Mad.
Because we know she had an affair anyway, so come on.
Didn't she have an affair with a Saudi guy or something?
Yeah, Mohammed Al Fayed, and she got pregnant again.
Did you know that was the monarchy's arch enemy son?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
Which
even the same nose.
Do you know what's mad about that as well? When you look at that, what's mad about that resemblance of picture is more when you look at Charles and William look very alike, and Harry to the level of Harry looks like his mum, but it just doesn't look like Charles in any way. And you can always see there was
Harry isn't a royal then anyway because his mum got divorced.
That's what everyone says.
So, and if Charles isn't his dad, then Sonny, you've been lying a prince life all your life.
Yeah, she was killed when she got pregnant with a true love. Yeah, that's what what you call it? Dodi Fayed.
Sounds right.
Yes, I know, Jess. I'm on point with that. So yeah. So anyway, I agree with Jack on that one, on the American thing. It is true because when you go to everyone here in this group right now has all been to America, and your only connection to the UK is via your phone. There is nothing on TV connected to America. Literally, most of everything. Just let everyone know. You spend most of the time watching TV and finding out that someone broke out of prison. That ish is real. I thought that was just in films.
On the loose,
actually,
there is someone that's just broken out of prison.
it's real. It's actually real. The amount of times we hear rapists has just broken out of prison. First, I'm thinking, what prison? Because how do you get out of a cell?
Speaking of him. Or even hearing about shootings that is not even too far down.
Yeah,
from
shootings
you
that
actually
just happening
see.
down the road. And you know that
Listen.
guy that ran past with a gun? Or he was running away from someone that had a gun.
That's
He
what I'm
was like,
saying.
I need to get away, I need to get away.
When the police officer came to let us try and get us into the building in 2017, and he was like, "Yeah, I just had a shootout." Yeah, oh yeah, just yesterday. So what?
See, like,
America is
He said it
bizarre.
casually.
Like he was so calm.
I remember we went to the Fox News with the guys, and they were saying to us, "Yeah, you should get in the car. Like, you shouldn't hang around here like that." I was like, "That's in the films. That's not real life." You know, when they go, "You shouldn't be here. It can be dangerous at this time." That's just only in the films. And my guy's like, "No. You should really get in the car. Don't really talk to people. You get a lot of like stray walkers. What the frick is this? Walking Dead?" Like, but it's mad. All right, guys, we're done for the day. How did Ted Bundy escape so many times? That's what I'm saying. It's mad. So now more I think about it, I agree with Jack. America are really stuck in their world, and you can't help it because when you go there, you get stuck in that world. You do start. On one hand, you're thinking about HHI. The other hand, you're thinking about rapists on the loose. What do I do? Like, you're thinking competition, and you're thinking there's a killer just running around. Do you know what I mean? Like the last, was it 2019? They just found a dead body on a golf course.
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember.
legs in the pond where people golf.
Like it was normal.
He's so tough.
That happened
Even
in
at hotel, like
Cape
anyone
Middleton.
can get in.
Say again, Jack. Oh, say Coach or one of these.
God, Jack.
Oh, you're so polite. In like Cape Middleton's yard or something, they found like a dead body outside their pool or in their like lake.
Freaking hell.
And it was just like, it was nowhere all over the news. Like, I seen this like the other week. This was like some article from like 2 years ago. No one knew about it.
So I agree with Gurgis as well. She was saying like she had to school people in America. America really is in their own little world, aren't they?
Yeah, like
literally in their own.
Just to bring it up on this platform, I would like to address the people that are saying, it's a very inconvenient time for the interview to be aired because Philip is in hospital. They tried to do this interview in 2018 and they had to decline them. So therefore, that comment is invalid. I just thought I'd throw it out there for Piers Morgan. Was it?
No, like the convenience of Philip or whatever going into hospital at the time the interview was being aired was suspicious.
Oh. Yeah, but they did talk about trying to do the interview in 2018.
They said wait. They were saying I think the Queen was trying to push for a wait. But anyway, like I said, the Queen, the best picture I've got of the Queen is a selfie I did with her. So I didn't curtsy. I didn't realize I had to curtsy even then. I just did a selfie. I don't know. I should have been shot for that. I literally remember picking up my camera and doing this. As she was walking by, I went,
"You have the picture."
Who remembers? Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
When you done that show?
Yeah. Was it 2016 or 2017?
She came to my school.
Yeah. So it was around that time.
And I shook Philip's hand.
Did you have to courtesy?
No.
What is courtesy?
What's the come and shoot me? When my laptop just and blows up. No, and they came to my school, like Philip and them, man. And they walked through like the canteen bit. We got to like line up on the side, and they was like don't put your hands out. You can only like touch them if they like put their hand up first. And then he was just doing this.
Oh yeah, we got told that bit. Yeah.
But I was like, I gripped it for a hot minute just to tick off my list.
By the way, I want to say in meeting Philip for the first time that time, and this is not right, and you should never judge a book by its cover. But god damn it, if I was to judge a book by a cover, he looked like the greatest racist of all time. I'm sorry. You should never judge a book, but Philip, freaking hell. And he looked, even though you looked at that guy and he was old, and yet he still looked like he hated his wife. Somehow. At that moment, you think you let it go. I'm here for life now. And he still looked like relentless. Do you know what I mean? But there's allegations that he cheated all the time. So God knows. Do you know what I mean? But I'm going to leave you with this one. Thank you on the courtesy of Kamani. This actually got me tickled. I thought this is very funny.
And the man just say tickled.
Jesus Christ.
That was me, bro.
Oh, was that you, bro? John. Queen's speech and everything. Queen's speech.
Hold on, I got a video for you.
You got a video?
If we were doing a meme off, you should have done this when it all kicked off, man. There were some funny ones.
Oh, some of the memes were literally
so funny,
hilarious. Like, it's not even like it was funny, but then it was like, I don't know. It got to a point where I was like, I didn't care about Harry and Meghan no more. I just wanted to see as many memes as I could see. I just wanted to see all of them. Let me see. You sending more? Is a video?
No, just that one. Please showcase this. You should have played this right at the beginning for News of the Week.
Oh yeah, I know this one. I know this. All right, let's finish. Can we finish off with this one?
Yeah.
Let's finish off with this one. This one. This was I think this one wins. This is the award. Every single one made me laugh, but this one, he wins. This Reflex wins on this one. Oh, not that one. Oh, free. There we go. Again. Oh, I know why now. The Queen, you know what? I hope I'm never going to get MBE now.
I think Philip's going to die within next week. What do you lot think?
Give him a bit more respect than that. He's got at least 2 weeks.
They're putting back in the freezer for a while, I think.
Is he not like 100 or something like that?
If he hits 100, I rate him.
He's 99.
He's 99.
I think he wants to die and they're not letting him.
Yeah, I think he's like, I think he wants to go. And
he went into hospital. He was like, "Please, just let me go this time." They're like, "No, Philip, it's all right. We got you." He's like,
we want you to see our Black Prince. We're going to knight him before you die.
I'm gonna get everything knighted.
But actually, just to answer everyone why he's not been called Prince. Apparently, he's not been called Prince because Charles is not king yet.
Oh man.
That's what you know. That's the life of being in the BAME community. The excuses upon excuses. And you know what the worst bit about it? Everyone in the BAME community, we're all going to accept it anyway. We're all just going to go, okay. I guess we'll wait for Charles. That was like when we asked for independence. And he goes, don't worry, next year, when we beat Napoleon, we will give you independence. Freaking 100 years later. Here we go.
No noise. I can't hear any audio.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear no audio?
No.
Reload it. Is that sound?
All right, give me a second. And then I need to go. You haven't got it?
Fuck out your thing. Don't like it, Mark. You've made it so clear.
Cool.
Like Meghan Markle, you've made it so clear a number of times on this program. Pussy one. And I will plan a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, until she cut you off. So you can keep lying about the real reason if you want. She don't give a fuck about you since she cut you off. And it burn your blood clean. That's why you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this. No, sorry.
Oh, God, suck your mother, Pete.
Sorry.
Long time
Sorry,
you
you
get
later.
this pussy.
Sorry.
Or tell your mama and Miss Markle sorry. Feisty. Peers chat off him out on a regular basis. And we all have to sit there and listen. You see, when work done around 7, 8 o'clock tonight, I go and broke up him cloud. Anyway, I see him, just watch.
I think we need to just all take a
Take a
break.
break. I go and break him.
We'll see you in a minute.
neck.
Oh, that's so
That's funny, bro.
I look exactly like you were saying it as well.
I would like to apologize for all the younger viewers watching that.
Yes.
Swearing.
Sorry,
I don't
guys.
think anybody else realized.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Watershed.
Yeah, sorry guys. I know it's not even 9:09.
Does Watershed even apply to Facebook, or is that just like a common thing? You think about?
Just a thing that everyone does it because I even see what do you call it do it. And what's her name? What's her name? Oh, I forgot her name. Will Smith's wife, Jada. They come on certain times and everything. Everyone does it. If you're doing like live shows, they come on at certain times. If you decide you want to watch it again, that's up to you. So, and when we used to do 9 o'clock, we could probably pretty much do what we wanted. Anyway, guys, that's it. Done for the show. Done for the day. Next week we're going to be talking about sexual harassment in the dance scene.
I'll just like to point out before you go on to next week. This week was actually supposed to be answering people's questions.
Yeah, it was. What happened to that?
Was it? Oh, sugar. I didn't even put nothing out, to be fair.
2 weeks.
Well, guys, now you know that we got more in store for you people at home. Stay tuned.
That's it. There you go.
That's it. Dancing because the royal family are the dance team.
Yeah, that's what it affects. It affects the dance scene. Like because if we don't get Philip to teach us the old school ways, it'll be lost with him forever. And if we don't talk about that,
the equilibrium.
The photosynthesis of the.
Hey, D-Mac, just mute yourself, please.
Hey,
bro, cool.
I'm ending it now. I'm ending it.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
Did you say woo? Did you actually just say woo?
Yo.
TT. It's moi.
Thank you for watching the dancing video finish.